That's because he's cheating. Let me just let you know that right there. This man sounds terrible. On my hands and knees begging you and wanted to leave. Didn't leave. Bye. What that got to do with me? Hello, little enzymes. Welcome back to Dacia's Digest, reporting live today from my laptop because my camera batteries are currently charging. But in today's video, we have a husband who leaves his wife after 15 periodically long years of marriage, but then wants to come back. So then also a wild card story that I just saw on my Explore page. Everything is going to be linked in the description, of course. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get into it. So let's start with the wild card. Am I overreacting? I found lingerie in my wife's suitcase before a work trip and am losing my mind. Brother, you're not overreacting. Whatever you thinking is up. Cause I don't know about, I'm just gonna say it's no reason for her to have lingerie if she don't plan on using it. And you're not gonna be there, so. He said, I have been with my wife for 6 years and we've been married for just over 2. From what I'm aware, we have a great relationship. We rarely argue, have a healthy, intimate life, and have discussed having children in the near future. At no stage have I had any reason to believe she would be unfaithful. My wife holds a management position in a tech company and is therefore occasionally away on work trips. I have been with her a few times if it's an opportunity to network or if I want to see a new city, but she usually goes on her own with her colleagues. On Sunday evening, she was packing a small suitcase for a trip the following day. As she was downstairs cooking dinner, I popped upstairs to the bedroom to grab my laptop. The suitcase was open on the bed, which I didn't think much of, but when I walked past, something caught my eye. It was a red lingerie set. It wasn't something I'd consider business attire. It consisted of a small lace red thong with a circular loop at the top and a matching red bra. When I did some more digging, I found a black set with another small thong. It immediately sent my heart racing and felt like a punch to the stomach. My wife doesn't usually wear anything like this. She used to wear lingerie when our relationship and intimacy was fresh, but she doesn't bother at all these days. Let me pause. Because as I was reading this, I was starting to rethink well, maybe she just kind of maybe that's like a thing for her to wear lingerie under her clothes so she can just feel better, feel more confident, whatever. And then I started to think I wonder if this is the norm for her. If this was the norm for her, then it wouldn't really be out of the ordinary. But as he just mentioned, she don't usually wear nothing like this. She used to wear stuff like this back in the day. Now she wearing it again, but not with you. I'm not saying she's doing something, but it does sound and look suspicious. He said, even wearing a thong is incredibly rare, and she would generally only wear plain cotton underwear, which is why this is out of character. She hasn't acted out of the ordinary at all, and that same evening we had a lovely meal and chatted, even if I was admittedly distant because of the situation. She picked up on it, and I just put it down to tiredness, which was the same excuse I used when I drove her to the airport yesterday. I haven't been able to get this out of my mind since. I want to give my wife the benefit of the doubt, but the situation just doesn't make sense because I don't know why she would pack lingerie for a 2-day business trip unless she intends for someone to see it. Can anyone help rationalize the situation and tell me if I'm overreacting? I have absolutely nothing else to go off other than some lace underwear, but this is driving me insane. Someone said, maybe she wanted to take some pictures for you while she was away. I can't tell you for sure whether you're overreacting or not, but this is definitely the best case scenario here. Ask her. OP responded, I'd hope that was the case, but she's never done something like that before, and it would be odd for her to do that now. We have a good intimate life, but that would be out of character, especially if she's on a work trip. I was just saying in a few videos ago, anytime your partner starts switching up out of the blue, doing things out of character. 9 times out of 10, it's infidelity. Whether it be emotional, physical, financial, whatever other types of infidelity it is, 9 times out of 10, if the schedule starts switching up, if they start coming home later than, and there's no real valid reason, they packing lingerie and they don't even wear, on like it's not normal. I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping for the best. Someone said, you know your wife. If this is out of character, then you should have red flags. If my wife did something like this, which would be out of the ordinary, and she does travel a lot, it would be really weird. The problem is now that's the only thing you will be thinking about. Your best course of action is to mention that you saw the stuff in her suitcase and see how she reacts. It's better to know before you have kids if this is the type of person she is before it gets really messy. I would wait until she comes back because like the first comment said, what if she wants to take pictures for you while she's away? That's kind of like one of the few possible explanations. Again, like I said, some people, they just like to feel confident. Like they like to wear certain things under their clothes that make them feel even more confident, like when they're out. I don't know how to explain it. So being that she is going to a work conference, it could be something as simple as that. Maybe she just feels more confident in her work setting when she has her specific, but I don't know. Someone said, should have asked on the way to the airport. OP said, I thought about it, but she was partaking in an important presentation and I didn't want to throw her or get into an argument or upset her before then. Someone said, do not ask her about it right now. I am sorry, but you have to eat this one until she gets back. When she comes home, position it so you are with her while she unpacks. If she takes them out, there's your chance. Or ask her if you can help her with the laundry. If all else fails, you have to ask her. Good luck. Someone said there could be other reasons besides cheating ex. At this conference, she is wearing clothes she wouldn't normally, like a tighter pencil skirt, and doesn't want panty lines showing. That's why she packed a thong. She could literally be planning on dressing up sexy and sending you pics to spice things up. Just saying, it might not be as bad as you think. Yeah, it's up in the air. I mean, and also, like, I feel like she wasn't particularly trying to hide it, being as though the suitcase was open, the lingerie was right there for him to see. I'm kind of going along with, like, maybe it's just something that makes her feel confident in her work clothes, something that she likes to wear. I'm kind of leaning towards that, even though originally I was leaning towards her cheating, but I hope we get an update from that. I'll go to the next story. My husband, 32 male, left me, 32 female, after almost 15 years together and wants me to forget and let him come home. What are my next steps to stop that? Don't forget and don't let him come home. End of story. She said, my husband and I have been married for almost 2 years, but together for almost 15. He is my only long, real boyfriend I have had in my adult life, and we have 2 children together. We have had a rocky relationship from the beginning, if I'm being honest, but the last 3 years have, for the most part, been pretty great. The turning point for our relationship, I feel, was after he got blackout drunk at his friend's wedding and spent the entire hour-and-a-half drive home that I drove him and his friend home from as I was sober, screaming at me and saying nasty things. Since then, things had been pretty good. I have been working on myself, have lost weight, putting more effort into myself and my appearance, and have been making new friends. About 5 months ago, he woke up one day and told me he wasn't happy with his life or me and wanted to leave. Didn't leave. Bye. What that got to do with me? She said he then decided he was wrong and didn't want to leave. Not to drag it on too much, but a highlight reel of the last 5 months is he has, 1, left me 4 to 5 times and comes back every time saying he's sorry. Been unhappy when I have gone for dinner or to see girlfriends. That's because he's cheating. Let me just let you know that right there. Because he's guilty. He has a guilty conscience. He think you doing the same thing he doing, which you're not. But anyway, she said he also got blackout drunk again and behaved horrendously towards me. I can't really talk about it on the thread. That's terrible. She said the same night as above, there was some severe drama with his family. I am also being made to be the villain for telling them this behavior is disgusting, especially since our two children were asleep in bed when everything was happening. He called me every name under the sun, often in front of our children, accused me multiple times of having affairs with absolutely no suspicions. I didn't realize a few of the things can't be discussed here. His excuses are that he doesn't feel loved enough by me and I'm not affectionate enough, but it's hard to feel affectionate to someone who is treating you like crap. I am getting very little family support and being made to feel guilty for breaking our family up if I don't let him just come back home. But he is never going to change. I'm glad you realized that because I was going to say, she said, I guess I'm just looking for some validation and support that I'm making the right decision because I keep being told I'm wrong. What are my next steps to stay strong in my decision to not take him back and try and establish a healthy co-parenting relationship for our children? Therapy would be the main one. This list that you made of the things that he's done, add to it. Go into more detail. Not here on Reddit, but I mean like in your personal, notes or whatever you have. And every time you think, maybe I'll give him another chance, maybe I'll let him back, think about the last time you gave him another chance. And the time before that you gave him another chance. And the time before that you gave another chance and nothing changed. Think about all the names he called you. Think about all the crap he did. Think about all the things he did in front of your children, traumatizing your children, getting blackout drunk, calling you every name in the book, accusing you of having affairs, meaning he's probably also having affairs. Just every time you even consider taking him back, refer to your list and then put on some Megan Thee Stallion. There's this new girl I've been listening to recently. I think she's from the UK. Her name is Ling Hustle. Put on some Ling Hustle. Put on some of that new Lizzo album. It's actually quite good. Put on some music that reminds you who the F you are. You don't have to deal with this. At the end of the day, you don't have to keep putting up with this. You don't have to keep dealing with this. As you said, he's never going to change. He has a track record of doing just that, not changing. It don't matter what other people say. It don't matter what other people got to say. Are they living with you? Are they in your household? Are they paying your bills? No. Somebody said, say no. Keep saying no. Find an attorney. Keep all conversations between the lawyers. File for immediate custody pending divorce. Separate finances. Do what the lawyer says. Action. First and best steps to staying strong. Someone else said, separate finances first thing. Make it happen tomorrow. Opie responded, I actually don't even know how to begin separating our finances as everything we have is basically tied up in our business. Dang, they got a business together too. Someone else said, this is something you ask your attorney. And then another comment, lawyer now. Don't tell him what you're doing. Do not talk to any family member. Tell one and they'll all know. Follow your lawyer's advice. She had an update 16 days later. I just wanted to firstly say thank you to everyone for all of your responses. I can't tell you how much they've helped me through this time. And every time I was struggling, I went back and looked at them all. Great, because that's exactly the concept that I suggested. Make a list and refer back, but you refer back to the comments, so that's even better. She said, I just wanted to address a few things mentioned in the comments and then give an update, so skip to the end if you just wanted the update. I have spent the last few weeks really thinking about our relationship and the dynamics, and honestly, it's difficult to really think about and embarrassing to think I've allowed this for so long. Some background to our relationship and dynamics of my life. We started seeing each other at 15, and on reflection, I can see that he was pressuring me even back then to do what he wanted. For example, pressuring me into losing my V card when I didn't want to, but thankfully a friend intervened for me. I grew up in a house filled with domestic violence and an extended family that was very dysfunctional from trauma. Around the time we first met, my stepdad, who raised me and separated from my mom about 3 years prior, told me his new partner didn't like me calling him dad and that she was turning my bedroom at his house into her spare room for when her family came to visit and essentially ended with him abandoning his dad role in my life. That's terrible. That night we started dating at 17 was, in hindsight, deeply troubling. We had been at a local function and had been friends. I was speaking with a mutual friend leading up to this night, and we snuck away to spend some time together. When we came back to the function, our mutual friends were laughing about it, and he started screaming at me in front of everyone for hooking up with his friend when I knew he liked me and that I'm a B. I followed him out to apologize, no idea what I was apologizing for, and ended up in a relationship with him. That's one way to get together with somebody. She said he habitually lied to me about using illicit substances throughout the years. He knew it was a hard limit for me as my relative had passed away from an OD. I know to some people it is a bit ridiculous as it's pretty normal where we're from, but I didn't want to be involved with it in the slightest. He caused friendship breakdowns because friends would come to me and tell me he was using substances. He would deny it and tell me they were lying, and I would end up in arguments with them. He admitted 2 years ago to lying about it because he could see my viewpoint had changed and I was more accepting of it. Our relationship was great for the last 2 to 3 years, a year or two before our wedding, and 1 year after. But on reflection, I realized it was because I was just being more obedient. I was basically a married single mom and handled everything at home, worked in our business, and was the primary parent for our children. This man sounds terrible. She said, okay, now for the update. I saw everyone's comments about leaving him and running and divorcing. That is definitely my plan, but I'm trying to be smart about everything and not rush it and do it on impulse. After my last post, I did cave to his pressure and allow him another chance. I told him that I was going to visit my friend's new apartment in the city and go for dinner together. He lost it and tried to forbid me from going. I told him I wasn't asking for permission, I was just letting him know. He was yelling and carrying on in front of our children that I either be husband and wife again or he's leaving right now, and I was just overwhelmed and trying to get him to stop, so I agreed. He also admitted to going through my phone to look at my messages with my friend because he didn't trust what I was saying. Girl, why? I mean, look, I can't even judge because I done made some decisions in the past too, but I just, this is not a viable situation whatsoever. And then doing this in front of the kids at that, this is setting a poor example to them about how relationships are supposed to go. She said, but shock and horror, a week later, he left again. So currently, we are not together. He keeps apologizing and telling me he loves me and regrets the things he was saying to me. He keeps asking me, so are you done? Or do you want to be with me? I reminded him that he left and we're currently not together. I said, without real changed behavior, I am not willing to be together. And I know that he will not be able to do that because I now realize that I think he is a narcissist or at least pretty close. In the meantime, I have been recording many of our conversations and interactions. I am meeting with a lawyer and speaking with an individual counselor and trying to get my house in a state for sale without it being obvious. I also forwarded many of our business financial documents to a separate email in case he restricts access to them. His work email is also on my computer as I handled most of his correspondence, and a few days ago, he had an email from Snapchat about some password change or something. Not really a huge deal, I guess, but I'm pretty confident there is either another specific girl in the picture or he's having casual intimacy. If there's anything else I should be doing, anything you want clarified, or any thoughts you have, I'd love to hear it, and thank you all again. He's definitely cheating, okay? Like, I feel with 100% certainty say that this man is cheating. Every time he break up with you, it's because he want to go up with another woman. And that's his way of, and I say break up, but y'all are married, so that doesn't even, like, you can't break up, but whatever. Every time he leaves, that's his time to go with some other floozy out on the street, come back. Oh, I'm sorry. All right, I want another piece. Go back. And then not wanting you to go out and being overly suspicious about what you're doing when you go out, that's guilt. Somebody said, lady, on my hands and knees begging you to stop with this language saying we're currently not together. It needs to be, we are not together, period. Opie responded, you're right. We are not together, period. I promise it's not changing. I don't know. I have my doubts because the way she wrote that last update doesn't seem that she's being serious. It seems that she's trying to prep herself just in case, but she's still holding out for this quote changed behavior that she's hoping for. Some people really, they really just have to have enough. They really just have to get to that point where they've had enough. I don't know if she's there yet. Unfortunately, she's getting there, but we'll see. Then she made another update 17 days later. Hi all, I wanted to post an update for everyone who gave me advice in my previous posts and helped me through a really difficult time. My soon-to-be ex-husband has been gone from our home for 2 weeks now. It has been 2 weeks filled with crash outs, love bombing, and everything in between. But I have held firm and I told him I am completely out of the relationship and want a divorce. I have bought new security cameras for the time being, but want to sell our house and buy my own place as soon as possible. Separating our finances is going to be so difficult. I know I'm only at the very beginning of the journey, but I am feeling so proud of myself and strong in my resolution. And honestly, I haven't even missed him once yet. I feel free. The kids and I can be at home and do what we feel like without worrying if he will have a problem with it. There's no more yelling at home. It's just peaceful. So, thank you again for your advice. I probably won't have another update, but thank you all. And if you have any tips or tricks for negotiating custody agreements and divorce, that would be great. I can't tell you how much you all helped me push through the hardest part. I'm not feeling confident in this. I'm not feeling confident that she's actually going to leave, unfortunately. That last update was just 2 days ago, so I really, really wish her the best. I really, really hope she leans on this community to keep her strong. She said, she would refer back to the post to keep her strong. I really hope, because this situation really is not good at all. Like, it's not ever going to be good. And then it's like whenever there are kids involved, I'm just especially sensitive because as adults, whatever, we can make whatever decisions, we can involve ourselves in whatever trauma, whatever. Okay, that's on you. But the kids have no choice. You're the one involving them in that. You're the one subjecting them to that. They have literally no choice. They're minors. So really, we really got to think about the children. But she said it's been 2 weeks. I'm praying for you, girl. Let me go to the Palate Cleanser. It's from the r/made me smile subreddit. It says, how can you even say no after all this effort? And then the text on screen on the video says, our golden retriever started moving his bed into hours every night so he could sleep with us. Laughing emoji. It is so cute. So basically it's a video of the golden retriever dragging his bed onto the owner's bed, struggling, like he's using all his might. He finally gets the bed up there, then he's just laying on it, like breathing all hard. That is so cute though. He just wanted to be close to you. I want to get a dog so bad. I can't do it right now. I just can't do it right now. I know I can't give my dog the life that they deserve. I just won't do it. I got to be a better dog mom before I commit. But one of these days, maybe next year. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.